Welcome to Psyche Magic, a podcast about self-discovery and the subconscious, where we explore the symbolic language of dreams, tarot, and archetypes. I'm your host, Jordan Hale. I'm a psychotherapist based in Nashville, Tennessee. Each episode, I'll hold a casual conversation with various artists and healers about their shadow work practices. We pull tarot cards, unpack a significant dream or dream theme, and discuss their personal healing arts practices. So please grab a cup of something delicious and stay a while. While aspects of this podcast may feel therapeutic, it is never meant to take the place of therapy. Welcome back to Psyche Magic. This is our 50th episode, which is truly such a milestone. And I want to take a moment to express gratitude to each and every single one of you who has listened, shared, and supported the show in ways both large and small. This podcast is such a labor of love and takes a village indeed, and I'm constantly blessed by the connections I've made through the show in realms both seen and unseen. I will never forget the deep fear and trauma responses I was having during the first weeks and months of the project. At the time, the thought of sharing my voice and opinions in any capacity felt deeply unsafe. It has been immensely healing to me to stay the course and to grow closer and closer to my own sense of authenticity as this project has unfolded through its many iterations. I am currently cooking up new collaborations that have come from this small but mighty show, and I'm so excited to see where they will lead. Thank you so much for being here and for making this such a life-giving and safe space. I hope this work has made a difference to you too. I am in a new season of motherhood, one where my now 1-year-old daughter Iris is finally reliably sleeping through the night, and I can begin to reclaim a bit of my free time in ways that are feeling so exciting. I am joyfully waking up early for probably the first time in my life, about an hour before she usually stirs, to make my coffee and my emotional support cinnamon toast, and to do something creative for about 30 to 45 minutes or so to begin the day. Lately, I've been playing around with watercolors, just playing in the pools and swirls of the pigments and letting time evaporate. And by the time Iris wakes up ready to play, I have the satisfaction of already having done something nurturing for myself, no matter what else the day may bring. It has truly been such a gift. We also just hosted our very first Jungian Active Imagination workshop recently, and I'm proud to say it was delightfully fun and a lovely time of connection and creativity for those beautiful souls who were able to attend live. We did some fun free association journaling, poetry writing, learned about the history of Jungian active imagination and its influence on surrealist art movements, did a fun active imagination dialogue exercise with a dream figure or tarot card, and perhaps my personal favorite, we did an inner child meditation to reconnect with a favorite childhood art form. I got such lovely feedback regarding the deeply meaningful experiences attendees had during the workshop, which was truly humbling, and I walked away in awe of the synergy the group created through their dialogue and sharing in the chat in just 90 minutes as a group of former strangers. It was so enriching, and I cannot wait to offer it again in October. I will likely cap the group size to facilitate a deeper and more enriching experience for all, so be sure to grab your spot now if you're interested in attending. Details are on my website, jordanhale.net/workshops. For our 50th episode, we have an extra special guest who I was so honored to speak with, musical artist and harpist Lattimore. Mary's ethereal instrumental music, particularly her 2020 album Silver Ladders, was a cornerstone of my self care in pregnancy, usually soundtracking deep meditation experiences and acupuncture sessions I incorporated to help keep my stress levels in check. Her music will always hold a special place in my heart for holding me during a wildly transformative time, imprinting on me in ways that are truly difficult to put into words. Mary joined me from her gorgeous home in Los Angeles to discuss her favorite ways to build and nurture community and sustain inspiration in her artistry, gave us the scoop on her favorite artist residencies. We discussed dreaming as a form of processing the nightmare that is the current political climate in the US, lucid dreaming, and oh, so much more. Please enjoy this sample of a gorgeous forthcoming song of hers, and I hope you enjoy our conversation as much as I did. All right, Mary Lattimore. Oh, welcome to Psyche Magic. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm happy to be here. This is fun.
Thank you, Mary. I'm very stoked to talk to you. You know, I'm a big fan and I'm trying to keep my cool. Okay. But like
So
listeners
nice.
need to know that like I am a huge fan and I'm very honored that you're here with me today. For those who may not know you and your beautiful work, can you please just give a quick introduction for the listeners about who you are?
Sure. Yeah, my name's Mary Lattimore. I am a harpist. I play the harp through effects and do a lot of improvising, kind of structured improvisations through effects pedals. So the harp kind of sounds sometimes kind of glimmery, sometimes kind of dark or processed. Yeah, so I just make kind of these pieces that are built around my concert grand pedal harp.
Yes, yes. And it's true. There are so many different like flavors and textures to your music and to what you do with the harp. It's just, oh, so gorgeous. I just
Thank
got
you.
to do a round with School of Song. I don't know if you're
Oh
familiar with them.
yeah.
I'm
Uh-huh.
obsessed.
I
Okay. I
love
had the
them.
best time ever. And
Cool.
one of my like friends and collaborators in the class was a harpist. And so
Oh.
I like she would play it live for us to like play
Hmm.
her and I was just so blown away. It's just such a beautiful instrument. I just love it.
Yeah. What was the class?
So I just did a very basic class because I'm
Hmm.
pretty new to like doing songwriting myself.
Mm.
So it was just like a craft of songwriting class, but they have so
Oh,
many.
cool.
They have like all levels.
Yeah, I took the Brian Eno course at the beginning of the year, and it really rearranged my brain. I loved it so much.
Oh my God. I know exactly what you
Hmm.
mean.
Yeah, it came at just the right time.
I heard that that course was so good and he
Hmm.
is just oh, he's brilliant. Like how cool. Yeah, they get really amazing like guests. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. Hmm.
I have a feeling we're going to go on lots of tangents, Mary. We already had a tangent about Apartamento magazine, okay? Like if you know, you
Yeah.
know. I feel like that's going to just keep happening. So, listeners,
Hmm.
you will be along for the ride with us today, my dears. Okay, we're going to pull our card. Mary, while I'm shuffling, I'm so curious if you're like a tarot person. Do you engage with
I
tarot? Do you enjoy tarot? Like, I'm so
I
curious.
do. I love it when other people arrange it for me or
Yeah,
do it for me. I think it's really fun. I don't really know that much, like to do tarot for myself, but
yeah.
I enjoy the insight when I'm around it.
Absolutely. Well, and there is something nice about someone pulling some cards for you intuitively and then just getting to
Hmm.
have that kind of like back and forth
Yeah,
process with them.
it's very fun.
Yeah, I've been studying tarot for several years now. I really started in 2020. 2020
Mm,
was that time of
yeah.
like
Hmm.
spiritual growth for a lot of people. So tarot became like a really
Yeah.
important tool in my spiritual practice. And I do all kinds of spreads, but on the show, I like to just pull one card because there it
Hmm.
could be so rich to just explore one card together. So we're gonna do
So
that.
cool.
We're going to find the one that's like winking at me. And I think it's this one. Okay. Yes. Let's see what we got. Oh, we got an ace, Mary. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
We got
What
Ace
does it
of
mean?
Wands. Don't worry. We're going to get into it. I think it's really fun. I'm going to like describe it for the listeners, for those who don't know what the Ace of Wands looks like. So, for listeners, this card is the traditional like Rider Waite Smith imagery. So, it's kind of that classic tarot imagery. And so in this presentation, there is a hand emerging from the clouds, and this hand is holding a wand, which is the suit of this card, the Ace of Wands. And then in the background, you can see this like beautiful, lush landscape with a river and with like a castle in the background. So Ace of Wands. Okay, just for fun, just like hot take, what happens for you when you see this card? And then we'll get into some of the like classical meaning behind it.
I mean, the landscape really reminds me of something that I have done this year
Cool.
that is a big thing for me. I went in with a friend to buy a small apartment in Tuscany. So yeah,
Stop.
we pulled together our money and we bought this little apartment.
Oh my God, Mary.
And I've been sort of working on getting it fixed up. It's kind of a dream come true, and it's something to
Amazing.
focus on when things feel kind of dark. So yeah, that's on the horizon. So that's what that card reminds me of.
Absolutely. It's just this like very personal little
Hmm.
snap into this moment, which has been so special. And that makes so much sense. Oh my God, Tuscany. I dream of going to Tuscany one
Mm,
day. I've never been. Oh, I'm dying to go.
yeah, it's really beautiful.
Mary, that's so cool. I'm glad that there was like a little personal ping for you. I just feel like that's always
Hmm.
fun when that happens. In terms of like tarot classical meanings and associations, the wands are my favorite suit in tarot. So the wands are the suit of the creative spirit. So
Mm,
they're the suit of fire and creativity and spirituality and sensuality. And so
yeah.
an ace in tarot always signifies like the spark, the beginning of something new. Yeah, like a
Oh
new,
my
I
gosh.
know, I
I
know.
love it. I
Mary,
love
okay,
it. That
is this resonating? Yeah, it sounds
Oh,
like it
big
is.
time. Yeah, big time. I just found I'm going to be there in the month of August and I'm performing for the poetry festival that
Oh,
they have in the
wow.
village. And I just found out that I get to keep the harp, the rental harp for the whole month. So my dream is to work on music for a new record in the new apartment that doesn't have any furniture, but it has a harp. So
Oh my
that's
God.
the I
Okay.
need that creative spark,
Mhm.
you know?
And this is your little signal that, like, yes,
Yeah.
this is it. This is the
Hmm.
next thing. And this
That's
is the
cool.
universe just giving you that little boost, like spurring you on towards this next
Hmm.
project and this next
I
chapter
love
of
it.
your life. Like, that is so
Hmm.
huge.
I love it.
Oh my
I've
gosh.
never owned
Wait,
anything, so
really? Okay,
yeah.
that's incredible. Like, what an incredible feeling.
Hmm.
And I love that you did that with a friend, by the way. Like, that's just such a fun reminder to us all that, like, our friends can be our families and partners in all
Hmm.
kinds of endeavors, right? Like, hell
Yeah.
yeah. So fabulous, Mary. Well, I'm so glad that this
Yeah.
card is speaking to you and is like giving you that little wink from the universe about, like,
I
yes,
love it.
this next
I'll take
chapter
it.
is so beautiful.
That's
We
cool.
will take it. Also, just like the idea of a poetry festival in Italy and like you on the heart, like, I'm just going to be like visiting that as like a happy place, like
Oh,
imagery for myself. You know what I mean? Like, that's just so
yeah.
amazing. We can't wait to hear more about how it goes. Okay, so we got our card. I'm setting it up near me so that if it wants to like whisper other messages to us throughout our conversation, it can. Okay, we're going to talk about your dreams now. So, Mary, you brought some really fun dream themes. Let me reference our document that you sent me. Ugh, I guess before we start, I just would love to hear from you, Mary, about whether dreams are something that are of interest to you, either, personally or even professionally. If there's something that you work with, either just like for your own sort of self discovery or for and within your creativity, what's your relationship to dream work like at this point? Or is there one?
I mean, I don't dream that often, but
Yeah.
when I do, it does stay the whole day, if not the
Okay.
whole week, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It lingers on. And sometimes I have dreams about people that I don't really speak to anymore, and that's
Hmm.
kind of interesting. But and then I kind of incorporate that into the songs
Mm.
sometimes. But I also I feel like I have a lot of dreams about, missing, like not being able to graduate, missing class or
Yes.
missing a train or missing a plane. And I feel like those I've been having more and more recently.
Yes.
So I definitely keep the feeling. I don't know if I'm necessarily like inspired by that feeling to write something, but
That's fair.
it's
It's not a super comfy feeling.
yeah, it's kind of a nightmare.
I know. I
but
know.
but yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
respect it. They're coming from somewhere. It's like so mysterious.
It's so mysterious. You noted this too, but like that's part of why, like, as people who are interested in art, that's why it's so fun and
Hmm.
fascinating is that like there are no answers, like there are no concrete answers. Usually dream work yields more and more just like intuitively interesting questions that we can keep kind of like peeling back and unfolding.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's inspiring, at least for me.
Hmm.
That like keeps my fire lit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hear you saying that like in some cases, my dreams yield like some really interesting inspiration, especially in terms of like maybe past associations or relationships or things that
Hmm.
linger in my psyche. But then also there's this brand of dreams. It can be really uncomfortable when I'm in like uncharted territory in some way.
Hmm.
And there are questions or representations in the dream of like whether I'm capable or whether I'm going to get to where I want to go, whether that's possible for me. And I think that is so, so common. Like
Hmm.
I myself experience those types of dreams often. I work with clients who are experiencing those kinds of dreams. So I also just want to normalize, like, I think that's a very common subject. Let's get into the dream that you shared that was your most recent kind of version of this. And then we'll kind of like unpack it a little
Hmm.
bit together.
Hmm.
So, as much as you want to, feel free to just share a little bit about kind of like the bones of the dream, and then we'll pick at them.
Yeah, I just recently came from a big trip with my parents. My parents aren't huge travelers. And so my dad, he's had a lifelong ambition to go to Normandy to D-Day
Mm,
sites where my grandfather fought in World War II.
wow.
And my dad he turned 70 and he was like, this is the time to do this while we can still be active. Let's go.
Sure.
They hadn't really traveled very much. They wanted me to kind of be their guide and take them on trains and planes and book the restaurants and book the hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I went with them, my parents and me. And I will say we did miss a few trains. but
I
I think
mean, are
I
you
think
even
that
on a
this
European trip if you don't miss a couple trains?
yeah, but this dream came like, it's been a week and I just feel like, yeah, this dream was about us, me having my parents in tow, being in the airport and finding out we missed a flight or, it was actually, we were on the flight and we landed in the wrong place. And then we
Ah,
landed in another wrong place, and then we missed something. It was just a lot of snafus, but
yes.
I was kind of taking care of my parents. I was the leader, and I just kept making these mistakes. And so I don't know. I do often have a lot of dreams about missing trains and things, but this one threw my parents into the mix, which is really funny.
Right. Oh, yeah,
Hmm.
which is a whole different dynamic.
Yeah.
And like from a sort of back of the brain subconscious perspective, it's interesting to think about like the role reversal in that way,
Hmm.
right? Of like, these are my parents, and yet I am like in charge of their
Hmm.
well-being and what's going
Yeah.
on.
I have
Yeah.
two siblings, and on the trip, they asked me like, my mom asked or my dad asked me like, "How does it feel to be an only child for once?" And I was like, "I am not the only child. You are the children."
You're like, I got news for you. That's not what's happening here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a parent to my parents. Okay. Yeah, it's so interesting because this not only is this like a really common dream thing, but it was coming on the heels of a real experience that you had,
Mhm.
which was this really, yeah, it sounds like the very sort of ancestrally important trip for
Mhm.
you and your family and for those
Yeah.
beyond. I think It's funny because I'm actually looking at the Ace of Wands here as I say this, but I find that these types of dreams also tend to come because it's funny. You said this dream came after your trip, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
I think it's interesting that these dreams can sometimes, at least this is something that I've noticed, they can sometimes come on the heels of like, I am entering a new phase, like I'm entering some uncharted territory, perhaps.
Hmm.
And so there's something in my psyche that is like working through the friction of being in that place, right? Like, ooh, okay, I'm going to be swimming out into some waters that are like a bit unknown. And
Hmm.
this is like such a typical sort of image that our dreams will give us for like that feeling of like, can I get there? Can I arrive? Can I get where I'm supposed to go? Like, what is the purpose of this new chapter for me specifically? And like, can
Hmm.
I wade my way through the waters to find that? So I don't know if that resonates, but that is
Yeah.
certainly a theme that I've picked up on is like, okay,
Hmm.
I'm getting out of my comfort zone here. There's like a growth edge and a new chapter, and it's exciting. And yet, in the back of my brain, it's also kind of scary.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having like the role reversal with the parents and parents getting older and stuff. But I really do I think that it also has to do with like the politics in the US right now. I'm just feeling like very
Yes.
out of control about that, like where are we
Yes.
going? Oh my gosh, I'm on the wrong train. I'm on the wrong plane. Oh, we're going into some kind of like dark stuff that I have no control over in a way.
Absolutely. Like I'm finding myself in a place or in a position that maybe is not feeling
Like
safe.
being taken, like
Mhm.
it's out of my control and being delivered
Exactly.
into like a nightmare.
Ugh.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I personally agree that that is literally what this moment in time feels like for those of us
Hmm.
in the US. Like, I'll speak for myself, but I do agree that it feels like I'm hurtling on a rocket ship that I did not board consciously.
Right.
And yet,
Hmm.
here we are, and I don't know where it's going, but I'm not feeling great about where it's going.
Yeah.
So, yes, absolutely. Like there can be so many layers to these
Hmm.
symbols. Like we can be processing them relationally and personally, and also systemically and sort of macro cosmically at the same time,
Hmm.
which is why it's so powerful.
Yeah, totally. It was funny. I have spoken to high school kids sometimes, and this kind of has to do with them. Like, I don't have enough credits to graduate. I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
those dreams are like kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
I've spoken to kids in high school, like music students and stuff, and they're like, What's the piece of advice that you give to high school students?" And I would say, like, I skipped a lot of school when I was a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like there's some residual guilt about that or something like that. But I'm like, oh my gosh, just don't skip so much school because you will have these dreams for the rest of your life about not having enough credits to graduate.
You will be plagued by this
Uh-huh.
dream by in your sleep for the rest of your life. Oh my God. Mary, I never thought about that way, but like I went through like a bit of a rebellious phase in high school
Hmm.
as well. And I too thought it was very fun and exciting to skip certain classes. That's so interesting. I've literally never thought about it like that in my life. But you're like,
Hmm.
beware,
I
beware the
know.
ghost of of
I
the
know,
school dreams.
of college too, just like you may think it's fun to just
Yeah.
like not go to class, but actually you'll feel guilty about it, maybe.
Maybe. Well, and you get older and you're like, damn, like that was a missed
Hmm.
opportunity. Like
I was paying for that.
I was paying
Yeah.
for that and I could have been learning something.
Hmm.
I know, right? Oh, the wisdom
Hmm.
that comes later after the fact. You said something so interesting. I'm looking back at your form that you filled out, and you asked a question. Because I always say, like, is there a question you would ask yourself or a figure in the dream just to like get a little more insight? And you asked this
Hmm.
question that blew me away. You said, why did you, as in yourself in the dream, why did you feel like no one could help you figure out how to get back? And I was like,
Hmm.
that's such a good question. I don't know if you
Yeah.
want to like feel into that a little bit or not, but I just feel like that's a really, really helpful question.
I mean, when you think about it at the airport, there's so many people that can help you get to your correct destination. People are
Fascinating.
hired to do this and experience in doing this. But I think in the dream, there was no one that
Hmm.
I felt like was competent enough to help us get back.
Yeah.
And I think that's totally political right now, you
That's
know?
what gave you that indication that like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm processing something about the current political climate and the lack of competency, the danger there.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And it really made me think because, as I shared, I have a lot of these same types of dreams as well, especially when
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting into some like new aspects of my life, new roles, motherhood. I've been having them all the time. My God.
Mm.
For those listeners who don't know, I'm a mother to an 11-month-old baby right now. And it's absolutely world bending and mind bending. But it's funny because I've never actually asked myself that question. Like, I wonder why in these dreams I don't feel like there's anybody I can ask for help or for guidance or even just ask a
Mm-hmm.
question to.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to look at that because that probably reflects some aspects of me that need maybe some assistance, maybe some guidance in like learning to ask for
Mm-hmm.
help a bit more. And also, I don't know, I feel like this might be a little out there, but I don't know if you've had experiences with lucid dreaming before. I have every now and then where you become aware that you're
Yeah,
dreaming. Have
I
you ever
have.
experienced that?
I
Okay.
have.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
I feel like there's something because in some cultures and areas of like sort of spiritual study, lucid dreaming is like a way into like higher levels of consciousness. And I
Mm-hmm.
almost feel like there's something about like learning to interact with like other figures in dreams or break through the narrative of the dream and ask someone a question that can be like a key into lucidity, you know?
Cool.
So I feel like I've experienced that in the past where like I do break out and maybe like ask a question or approach another dream figure, and then that makes me aware. That could be like a fun thing to play with, even as like dream intention setting. I'm going to go to bed and see if I can like ask a question to become
Yeah,
lucid. I don't know. Could be fun to
I
play with.
love it. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Have you ever had any like cool lucid dreams?
I mean, I've had flying dreams, which
Oh,
are my very, very
those are the best.
favorite. I have thought to myself, like, oh, you know, you're dreaming right now. Just try to keep going. Try to keep it
Seriously,
going for a little longer.
it's the coolest experience
Hmm.
ever. I know. I've only
Yeah.
had it like a handful of times, but it's like so amazing.
I miss it. I haven't had one in a long
Oh my
time.
God,
So.
let's like manifest it. I want more. Send us more, dream
Hmm.
maker. We want to fly. Please let us fly. Okay, let me see. You also mentioned, I thought this was interesting too. You mentioned that, and you may or may not want to get into this, Mary. So you please let me
Mm,
know. But you mentioned a very vivid dream of your grandmother. And I thought that that
yeah.
was really interesting because I sometimes our loved ones do visit us in our dreams. So just
Mm,
curious if you want to talk
yeah.
about that or not.
Just once. It's only happened once,
Yeah.
and she was very, very clear in my mind. I haven't seen her in a long time. We were very close.
Yeah.
That was such a treat.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's like the perfect way to describe it. Well, because this is someone who has passed on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yep.
so that is such a
Mm-hmm.
treat to like get to just spend a little
Yeah.
time with them in
I
this way.
know.
That can be
Hmm.
those dreams can be very like visceral, like tangible. And like you said, they can really stay with you in a way that
It
feels
did. It stayed
so,
with me for a while. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's powerful. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I know. What a treat.
Yeah.
Welcoming visitation from our loved ones in
Mm-hmm.
dreams. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to say or ask about your dream or dream theme?
Do you think that all the characters are us in a dream? Like, are my parents me? Are the people I might ask for help actually me? And
I
so I'm
know.
nowhere to,
I
is my wisdom nowhere to be found?
I
Because
know what you
I
mean
don't
because
know.
it's like it's all me anyway. I have to
Mm-hmm.
say because I do like to the term that I'm aware of that describes that type of dream interpretation is called subjectivity, and it is this idea that like every aspect of a dream is sort of a representation of myself. And I think that is a really fun way to play around with dreams and be curious about dreams, but I don't think that that's the end all be all way to look at dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be like an interesting thought exercise, but I do think that in many cases, especially when we're dreaming of folks who are like really important parts of our lives, I do think that they can be their own representations. And just like we were saying, we also get these visitation dreams where like
Mm-hmm.
loved ones are there in their pure like essence and it feels so real. And I'm like, I don't think that's just me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. Yeah.
subjectivity is fun and I think it's interesting. And I think it does apply in certain cases, maybe, but not all cases.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my take.
Yeah. Grandy was not me. That was her.
I know, right? Like you just know. You're like, that
Mm-hmm.
was you.
Yeah.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. So anyway, yeah, I do think it's fun. I have had instances where, like, let's say I had a figure in a dream that was not someone who was like well known to me, but that was maybe kind of a shadow figure or maybe kind of a scary figure in a dream.
Mm,
I have found subjectivity to be a really interesting way to look at those dreams. Like if I were to dialogue with that scary figure and treat them as maybe an aspect of myself that is unknown or hidden or rejected, what might they have to say to me? Like, I think that
mm,
can be really interesting
mhm.
and really fruitful. So,
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that.
of
Thank you.
course. I just love talking about dreams. It's literally one of my favorite things in the world. So, thank you for sharing with us. Okay, now let's transition a little bit, Mary, because I want to talk about your beautiful, beautiful music and your work and your process. I would love to hear, you and I were talking before we decided to do the episode about the episode I had done on David Lynch recently and like all of his methods around meditation and creativity. And I'm curious if you have your own methods of like tapping into something deeper, maybe something subconscious that brings you into this place where you can transmute this beautiful work. So please share anything that you would like to about your process that feels relevant to that, maybe.
I would say a lot of the songs come to me from like memory or things that I didn't want to forget. So I try to create like little time capsules,
Yeah.
about like moments that I think are important. And then the title kind of reflects that, but really since it's all instrumental music, it's really like up to you to take it to your place you want to take it to. But for me,
Absolutely.
these are just like little hints to remind me of where I was in that moment.
I love that.
I get a lot of inspiration, just being in nature. Like I've done a couple of artist residencies that have been really fruitful because they've been like on a cattle ranch, in Wyoming or in a national park outside of San Francisco. So I like to, be in these unfamiliar places and then, your brain is so turned on and receptive
Yeah.
when you're just in these unfamiliar, landscapes or whatever. I think
So there's something about the unfamiliarity and sort of the
mhm,
newness. I'm looking at Ace of Wands again, right? Like
yeah,
the sort of uncharted territory that can bring a level of receptiveness, of openness, of inspiration. That makes perfect
always
sense to me.
not knowing the language.
Yes,
Or yeah, like, oh, this is new. Like, I don't know anyone yet. I'm at this artist residency. We're all strangers, and the only person I know is my heart because she feels like a
exactly.
person to me.
Does
It's like, oh, this
I
is
was
my.
going to say, does she have her own little like personality? I feel like that makes perfect
Oh
sense.
yeah,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like a sister.
She's like a sister. Oh my God, that's so
Hmm.
beautiful. I love that. Also, weird synchronicity. I was literally just looking up artist residencies,
Hmm.
specifically in national parks, because I just learned that that was a thing. And I feel like more people
Yeah.
need to know about that.
Hmm.
It's amazing.
This one that I did, it was called the Headlands. At the Headlands outside of San Francisco, over the Golden Gate Bridge, there's a beautiful national park,
Oh my God.
Center for the Arts, and I was there for a few months, and just there's no cell phone reception, barely any cell phone reception,
Wow.
barely any. I had Wi-Fi in my studio, but not in the house where I was living. So I think less time with the internet is really important to create stuff.
100%. Yes, for
Hmm.
many reasons, like see our earlier conversation about the hellscape that is this current political
Yeah, doom
climate, but
scroll. Yeah.
yes. But also, it's just such an attention suck. Like, there's
Hmm.
just so much of our attention and our energy that I think gets like sapped by just all of this information that we're intaking all the time. Whereas, yes, like a beautiful, unfamiliar, stark landscape can then start to bring that, yeah, that openness to ideas.
The School of Song courses where he talked a lot about that. Like companies and corporations want your attention. Like
Hmm.
they're trying to buy that. They're trying to manipulate you a lot. And he was saying, when you first wake up, you should not just check your phone.
Yeah.
You should expunge rather than absorb information.
Yes.
You should like right now I'm doing the artist way. with a couple
I love,
friends.
I love the artist way.
Yeah, and so we're that course, and so we're doing, it's like morning pages every morning. You have to write 3 pages, and sometimes it's pretty hard, but it does feel like kind of hand in hand with what was talking about. Just to let it out immediately
Yes.
when you wake up in the morning. You
Yes.
process things before you are absorbing like commercials
Hmm.
and bad, horrible things from the internet.
I know. He's also speaking to this really important idea that our attention is like our most valuable
Yeah,
currency these
it
days.
really is. It
Like
really is.
truly. And all of these companies and social media moguls know that. And they are
Yeah.
capitalizing on that. Yes.
Um,
I know we were talking about School of Song, and I am just such a huge fan of what they're doing. And
mhm.
any like oasis or beacon of like hopefulness, creativity, inspiration. I'm just like, please give us more of this right now
Yeah.
because I know a lot of people that are feeling so just down and sad
Um,
about the state of the world that it can be
mhm.
really, really hard to get into like a creative headspace. And
Yeah,
that's why we need community around
I
it.
think so too.
You said you're doing Artist Way with friends, right? Like you're
Uh-huh.
doing this as a communal exercise. Makes perfect
Hmm.
sense. When
Yeah.
I was doing School of Song myself, I felt like I was getting ideas all the time because we were all in it together, day
Yeah.
after day, week after week. And then as soon as the course ended, I was just like, oh, dry spell. I'm not doing anything at all. Like, right? Like it just like evaporated
Mm,
immediately. So we need that. We need each other and we
mhm,
need to remind each other that like your creativity matters so much. Probably like
mhm.
now more than ever, honestly.
And like you never know. I mean, what we were talking about before this was like, you listened to my music when you were, having the baby and stuff. And I,
Yes,
I was like, man, it's just a reminder that you never know who is going to be listening, like
that's
where
right.
that's the connections that can be made, like across the world, or
Yes.
you just never know where that little song is going to fly to.
It's so true. I know
Mhm,
that's a beautiful way to put it. Like once your work, your creativity is in the world, it can touch and inspire so many more people than you realize.
mhm,
I feel like that about this show. Like I'm like, is anyone
mhm.
there? Is anyone listening?
Yeah.
And then
Uh-huh.
like every now and then I get somebody telling me, "Oh yeah, I listened to this episode and it really like resonated with me." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh,
beautiful.
okay, great."
What it's all about, man.
I'm so
That's the
glad.
reason.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
cool. So
Mhm,
yes. If we're not creating, we are not really living. That's truly how I feel. And as a psychotherapist, I am always harping on that. I'm like, everybody,
mhm,
please, if we're not making things, what are we doing instead? Like, I guarantee you
mhm.
it's not super duper duper fulfilling, right?
Right.
Mm-mm.
Right. I think too, like again with this political climate and with like, the social media, all the stuff, it I've been kind of looking for reasons to love human beings again.
Oh my
And like,
God.
oh
Oh
my
my
gosh,
God. Yes.
everyone is so opportunistic, everyone is so self-serving, blah blah blah. And I just feel like art, seeing the craftsmanship and
Yes.
art and people's creative sparkle, it's just like this is the reason to love people.
Oh
And
my
I think
God.
I think this is the thing that we have as human animals, that we can actually make stuff and we feel this spark to create beautiful things. I think that
Yes.
that's like it's important to recognize that that's what makes us special, and that's what makes us good.
That's beautiful, Mary. It's like, yes, it's like our little superpower as a species.
Hmm.
Like, this is the
Yeah.
thing that we get to do. And reasons to love humans.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she talks about that a lot in the artist way. It's
Yeah.
like, she talks to people who might not think that they're artists,
Yeah.
might not call themselves artists, and like, oh, you have this inside of you too. Like, don't let the
Absolutely.
self-doubt.
It's your birthright.
Yeah.
Well, every human being comes into the world in childhood knowing how to make things. Like, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to show them how. They just start doing it as soon as they have the like motor skills to be able to do it. Sometimes even before then.
That's so cool.
Yes. So let's all be making things. Let's all do the artist way. Like I
Yeah,
did
it's
it.
fun.
Oh, when was the last time I did the artist way? It was a long time ago, probably like 6 or 7 years ago. I'm due.
Mm.
I'm due for another
Hmm.
round. And it's
Hmm.
like, for listeners who don't know, it's like morning pages every morning, which is where you just sit down and free associate, right? Like the idea is that you just write down whatever is coming to you. There's no like outcome, right? It's just a process.
Hmm.
And then there's artist dates, right? That's the other like big part of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so what have you had any fun like artist dates, Mary?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I take myself on artist dates all the time, even without the course,
Yay.
you know,
Good for you.
because I just love, like, I love going to movies by myself or going to see
Yeah.
like a painting exhibition by myself. I just
Yeah.
like try to work that into life a lot when I'm not on tour
I love
or
that.
when I am on tour too. You know, so I feel like that part came pretty easy for me, but I think with friends of mine who have like pretty steady, stable jobs,
Yeah.
that's been a big thing for them to like actually take the time to go on a date with yourself and go see some kind of artistic exhibition or concert or
Exactly.
it's cool to have that worked into your schedule. It's just like a vital part of your week.
Yeah. Well, and as a way to feed the creative spirit and to
Mhm.
find and seek out inspiration.
Yeah.
I remember for me at the time, I like the idea of artist dates was hard. And now I feel
Hmm.
like, oh, I'm looking for that literally everywhere.
Mm.
I just
Good.
want my whole life to be an artist date.
I know. I know. It's yeah, it's important. And but the solitude of it, I think is also
Yeah,
another thing that might be kind of hard for people too.
that's
It's like,
true.
oh, going to do this by yourself, not
Hmm.
having a person to talk to really while you're there and just like kind of getting over the like, oh my gosh, am I weird for eating by myself or going to a movie by
Oh,
myself or
yes,
something?
yes, yes. Oh, all kinds of gnarly little social conditioning around
Mm-hmm.
that, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Let's dismantle it, baby. Take yourself on an artist date. Let's go. Okay, so Mary, can you just walk us through like what is coming up for you that you're excited about as an artist? Like you mentioned that there's this really exciting poetry festival, right? That was what came up
Hmm.
in the card, and that was so awesome. So just tell us what's like coming down the pike.
Well, I do have this new record I should be working
Okay.
on. I don't want it to come from a place of anxiety.
Oh,
So
yes.
I feel like that, um, it might be colored by the word right now, actually.
Hmm.
But, it's good to process feelings. So if it comes from a place of anxiety, that's okay. But I have a record coming out in January 2026 that I'm pretty excited about.
Oh, yay.
I was working with my very close friend Juliana Barwick. We're able to go to the Museum of Musical Instruments in Paris,
Oh,
and
wow.
they let us use some of the special antique instruments to make a record. And so
Oh my gosh.
that was like right after the fires in LA, which is where we both live.
Oh,
And so
yes.
there was a lot, that was some processing, to
I
think
can only
about like our
imagine.
home. It was very intense to be somewhere else, and watching the aftermaths of all those fires and kind of thinking about home and how it was, there were so many people hurting in our city, but we were kind of holed up in this museum for 2 weeks, and that was really wonderful. So this record coming out in January, pretty cool because I'm playing harps from 1740,
Oh my
which
God.
they let me put them through effects
Wow.
and effects pedals, and also to tune them myself. And like,
Wow.
every time I tuned, I would hear like a crack, and I would be like, "Oh my gosh, should I break this
You're like,
thing?"
oh
It's
God,
very
that's it. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely once in a
It's
lifetime
incredible.
opportunity. Yeah, so that record, and then Julianne is playing like vintage synthesizers and
Oh,
singing. So that record's gonna be cool.
sounds amazing.
Also have a big US tour coming up in September.
Oh, good.
It's fine.
Oh my gosh. Are you coming through Nashville?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I'm
I'm
gonna go
coming
see
to
you.
Nashville.
Yay.
I can't remember where I'm playing, but I can send you.
Oh,
Thanks.
fabulous, Mary. Yes, I will be there.
It'll be fun.
Hell yeah. That's so, so, so incredible. I love this idea behind your new album. And I love that, like, because we were talking earlier about sort of like the animism of these instruments and like them
Mhm.
existing as their own sort of like characters and almost like living
Yeah.
beings. And the
Yeah.
fact that these are so old and have so many
Mhm.
stories to tell, like,
Mhm.
how beautiful.
I think I used four of the harps. I think it was three or four. And the guy who owns the label, it's a French label, and he described it as like waking up these sleeping princesses, which I
I
thought was really beautiful because they haven't been played in so long.
have
And
chills.
so yeah, we put new strings on them,
Oh
and
my God.
yeah, they were just sleeping in the museum until it was time for them to be awoken.
Wow. Oh, that's so
825.
beautiful. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Like that alone is just like so inspiring. How fun. Okay, so yes, there's a new album. There's this
hmm
Italian adventure. There's this tour. There's a lot
hmm
happening, Mary. You got a lot
There's a
going
lot
on.
happening. I
I
know
know.
it's cool. I took Instagram off my phone yesterday
Oh
too,
God.
so I was like, okay, I feel better already. Not just spending 2 hours scrolling
I know.
through horrible images and dog videos. It's like hard to
Oh,
regulate when you see like
the
terrible
like
things.
cognitive like dissonance
Uh-huh.
of that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't feel right. It
It's
just
not
doesn't
right.
feel right for the brain.
No, it definitely messes with you for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, so I took that off. So more making stuff and more like being present and less, just looking at like tragedy.
I know.
Even though it's good to recognize it's there, it's good to be
Yes.
aware.
I saw on probably on social media, I saw RuPaul, who I'm obsessed with, talking about
Mm,
like, please, you can look at the darkness, like you can look at what's going on, and you should
yeah.
because you should be
Mhm.
informed, but do not stare at it. It will destroy you. And I was like,
It's
yes,
not
that's
good
it.
for me.
That's it.
It's not helping anyone
You can
to
look at it, but
stare at
don't
it.
stare at it like you wouldn't stare at the sun. It's too much.
hmm
Mhm.
That's a beautiful. That's a perfect way to
I mean,
put it. I
RuPaul is a
mean,
freaking genius. So yeah. So I'm trying as well to live by that as much as humanly possible. And I do think that an emphasis on making things is a helpful antidote to the staring, right? Yeah.
I'm processing it that way. I mean, as a psychotherapist, have you seen the effect of
Absolutely.
yeah lately, like
Yeah.
an extra heightened?
100%. People are not okay. Like people are not doing well, like
hmm
collectively. Yeah.
hmm
It's really, really, really hard. And as a therapist, you feel like you're doing what you can, but it's like what we're all holding, the heaviness of it, like systemically, is just overwhelming. And so I just keep encouraging, like you said, can we find ways to love each other? Can we find ways to help each other? Can we find ways to come together? Can we find ways to make things together and enjoy each other in the face of all of the scariness and the terribleness? Like,
To see that we're all the same.
I
We're
know.
all
That's
the
right.
same.
Yes, because the arts connect us
Mhm.
with each other.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
we
all
are all
just
the same.
humans,
That's
like
right.
flailing around, flailing around
Flailing.
in this show and missing flight.
I am
It's
flailing.
like, yeah, I know. We're just like all the same, and we need to for that.
I know. Another question before I forget. I'm so curious. Do you have other art forms that are special to you besides music and harp?
I love to paint.
Yes,
I love
Mary.
to paint
Yes.
and draw. I love to
Oh,
write.
yes.
Love to read. All of it.
Okay.
All of it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not great at it. I'm a terrible singer. There are things that I don't do for other people, just for
exactly.
myself.
Yeah.
But I really love to visual art.
Well, giving ourselves permission to do things that are, quote, like, I'm not doing it in a skilled way, particularly
Mm,
necessarily, and yet I'm still getting something out of it. Like, that's also something I'm always like mulling over is that it doesn't have to be, quote unquote, good to be meaningful, right? Not at
yeah.
all. Not at
You don't
all.
have to sell it. It doesn't have to be
No,
content.
no.
It's almost like you
It's
have to do it.
expressive. It's
Yeah,
almost
you
like you
have
have
to
to
get
do
it
it.
out. Mhm.
Yep. It's expressive and it's meaningful for that reason alone. I'm reading a book called Your Brain on Art right now, and
Mhm.
it's all about like the neuroscience behind why the arts and expressive arts are so helpful to humans. And so I've literally underlined and dog-eared like every other page. Like it's just like every single little tidbit is like so helpful and useful. But like engaging in any art form is so, so, so good for your brain. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter how long, how much, how good, literally has exponentially helpful effects on your brain chemistry, the way that your brain connects and fires synapses and makes connections, your physical, mental health, everything. Like the arts are so helpful.
I gotta read it.
You got to read it.
I'll
It's
write
so
it
good.
down.
I'll send it to you. Yeah. And I'll link it for everybody. I'm still making my way through it. It's a dense book, but it's so good. I love that you're a painter. I would love to learn how to paint one day. I'm playing around with oil pastels right now. That's my
fun.
new obsession. They're just, I love like the texture of them. I just want to like eat them. They're just so,
Yeah, the pigment.
the
pure
pigment. I know. Oh, so fun. Okay, Mary, just if you would, before we leave, let listeners know where can they follow along with your work, stay connected to you, please.
I still am on Instagram.
Right.
I'm sure I'll be checking it every day at some
Yeah.
point. But it's Mary over there is my name on Instagram. It's kind of a lot. And also my website, marylattimore.net. Other than that, I'll see you at the show, I
Hell yeah.
guess. You can say hello in person.
I would love that, Mary. If you're down, I
me
would
too.
so love to get to say
Please
hi
do.
and come see you
Please do.
play. Oh, how
Yeah.
fun. Yes.
Awesome.
Send me the
Well,
deets and I will
sure
definitely
will.
be there.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yay. Thank you, Mary. This was such a delight. You were so awesome. Thank you
Cool.
so much for sharing yourself, your process with us. It was so uplifting, so beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yay.
Talk to you soon.
That's a wrap for episode 50. Thank you again to my guest, Mary Lattimore. May the Ace of Wands continue to bless your new endeavors, and may the Muses continue to grace you with their presence. We'll see you back here next month with another amazing guest. If you want more Psyche Magic, be sure to check out the Psyche Magic Salon on Substack. There you'll find all full and bonus episode archives for the podcast, as well as my weekly written newsletter with magical musings and recommendations for sources of creative inspiration. You'll also find the recorded version of our salon ritual to invoke creative flow. That's psychemagic.substack.com. If you haven't already, please take a moment now to subscribe, rate, and review us on your podcast app of choice. It really makes a difference and helps other people find the show. We hope you'll also follow along with our shenanigans on Instagram and TikTok at Psyche Magic Podcast. Psyche Magic was produced and recorded by me, Jordan Hale. Editing for this episode is by Masuzu Inaga. Our theme music is by Young Summer. Artwork is by Annika Murphy. Special thanks go to Daniel Higbee, Grace Fuse, and Michael McMillan. Thank you so much for listening. I'll leave you with a question. If you must sleep through a third of your life, are you willing to sleep through your dreams too? Get your dream journals out, y'all. Until next time.